Hawaii's Kilauea volcano forced hundreds of people to flee their homes in the middle of the night as lava spewed high into the air and oozed onto the ground after another eruption. Residents had to take refuge in shelters. The first evacuation started on May 3rd when the volcano began its current cycle of eruptions and earthquakes. Since then, 22 fissures or cracks in the ground have opened up. As City News' Tom Walsh explains, anyone planning a trip to Hawaii should be aware of possible health and safety concerns.
It's one of North America's premier tourist destinations, but more recently it looks like the end of the world. Hawaii's Kilauea volcano has been erupting for the last 2 weeks, spewing liquid magma and even toxic gas, with local residents forced to evacuate. And with images like this, some tourists are beginning to rethink their travel plans.
The Avoid Travel Advisory is the one to look out for, because if you've purchased cancellation insurance and an Avoid Travel Advisory comes into play, then any cancellation would in fact be covered. But if you just decide not to go and there's no advisory, that's when we would suggest calling the airlines and really seeing what they suggest, because travel insurance is designed to come into play when those advisories are in effect.
In a statement, the Hawaii Tourism Board has said there is absolutely no reason for visitors planning a trip to the Hawaiian Islands to change or alter their leisure or business travel plans. So far, the Canadian government has not issued a travel advisory for the US state, but with toxic gas beginning to leak from fissures in the ground, there are serious concerns for public health.
There's really two things to worry about. One is the gas, sulfur dioxide. And that's really a lung irritant, so really we're primarily concerned about people with asthma. With this ash, and it's especially a concern for people who are there for long periods of time, that could lead to actually longer term health impacts.
Close to 9 million tourists visit Hawaii each year, spending over $2 billion. Authorities on the island are stressing that the volcanic activity is happening here, well over 100 kilometers away from the main tourist areas of Maui and Oahu. But a change in the wind direction could change all that.
Sometimes with the wind directions, especially with sulfur dioxide, even actually as far as Honolulu, which is several islands away, you can get some pretty high levels there. I don't think that's been the case recently.
Currently, all airlines are operating as usual to the island, and there have been no reports of deaths or serious injuries incurred by the activity. But if you're still thinking of making the trip, keep a close eye on those government websites.
I think the most important thing that BCAA would recommend is really to pay attention to the Government of Canada website and whether there are any travel advisories. That's really going to dictate how your insurance comes into play.
In Vancouver, Tom Walsh, City News.